Welcome back on my YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is only for farming programs, farming teachings, farming guidelines, and farming ideas. So today I thought of talk about a bit of the crop called soyabeans. Most of the farmers are doing soyabeans on their first time, where they need help from you people, from me, who've been in this farming or project for so long. So I decided to make this broadcast so that everybody can learn from this. But I would just ask from you watching this video to share to your fellow farmers, your friends, and your families, so that they can learn one or two things. So, what is soybeans? The soybean crop. What do you understand about the soybean crop? So, soybean is grown as an annual plant, normally bush and erect. It grows up and in bush type. It grows in running or runner part of form of growing. So it can be grown in any area as long as the soil is okay, the soil is well drained. So it grow upright, growth habit, and this usually plant height varies from 40 to 100 centimeters tall. 40 to 100 centimeters tall, meaning 40 centimeter to 1 meter tall. So it needs space, it needs good rainfall, it needs good weather, good temperature for it to grow well. So the plant soybean categorized into determinate and indeterminate type of plant. The determinate types of plant are short and terminate growth with the onset of flowering, and the growth tips end in a pod-bearing rhizome. The harvest can be done in one round because all pods usually ripen at the same time. So it is the type of plant that can only give you produce once per season. Those are determinant plant types. Then there's also indeterminate type of plant which can grow to the height of 70 centimeters, and they continue to grow vegetatively. This is where we can also talk of tomato, because tomato keep on growing, okra keeps on growing whilst fruiting, castor beans keeps on growing whilst fruiting, and the harvest can be conducted when the plant is still growing. So that is the other type of plant. They flower and they form pods, resulting in seeds and pods of different sizes that require manual harvesting at different types or times, I mean. So it is also one type of plant. Even soybean, we have such kind of variety, which is a spike, because spike grows and flowers at the same time get ripen. So again, there are climatic requirements that a farmer should consider when getting yourself or when getting ourselves into a soybean cultivation project, because it will help you to have good growth, plant growth, as well as the production yield. So it's very important again to consider their climatic requirements, or there's another term where you can talk of the ecological requirements that a farmer should understand before getting yourself into this kind of farming. So soybeans thrives in a warm weather. Now what do that mean? You know, it needs water whilst in need of warm kind of weather, especially on pod filling and flowering. That's why you find that during the flowering stage, soybeans does not require much of water, because there will be that disturbance of flowering, and it may even result into flower defoliation for low production yield. So make sure you follow these steps. You also start the varieties for you to have the proper growth of the plant, of the crop soybeans, and flowering, which will result into production yield. Then rainfall above 450 millimeters is required for good yields. So you should also understand the rainfall pattern when getting into such kind of crop project. High moisture requirements is critical at germination process or stage. This is when we only want enough rain and good moisture content in the soil. It is only during germination, because that's when the plant needs to carry enough water for development of roots and noodles for nitrogen fixation. It's important to understand that as well. Flowering and pod forming. At that period, you only need moisture, not water. Moisture, not rain, because we don't want enough rain during flowering, pod filling, and shattering. However, dry weather is necessary for ripening. We are talking of the best weather during harvesting. You only harvest soybeans when it is dry, because by then the moisture content in the bean will be less for proper oil extraction. Very important, very important. Then loamy soil are the best for soybean production. Loamy soil is the best soil which is good for soybeans. Very important. The crop performs badly in poor sandy soil with low organic matter content, but can do well in this soil with good soil management. These are the most important ecological, agroclimatic requirements that a farmer should consider when getting him or herself into farming. Make sure to know the soil type. Make sure to treat the soil well before planting. Make sure to prepare your land well. I'll talk about land preparation later in the second video, so that you can also learn one or two things. But I just wanted to talk about the agroclimatic requirements. Again, there's another thing that a farmer should understand. Soybean grown in sandy soil are very sensitive to drought. Make sure you have the irrigation system if you are doing your soybean cultivation project in sandy soil, because anytime you might encounter what we call drought, which will result into plant decay, plant dryness, and it will definitely drop out all the flowers. So make sure you plant your soybean in sandy soil when you know that the rain pattern in your area is good and normal. Very important. Soybean does well in free draining soil and of the pH of about 5 to 7. The pH potential hydrogen should be ranging between 5 to 7 only. Below 5, your soil is acidic, and the 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 production yield is relatively low in such kind of soil. Then again, soil which has the pH beyond 7, it is alkalinity, and you expect water loading during flowering, and which will result into flower defoliation and poor pod feeding. It's very important to understand this. So we are saying below 5 adversely affect rhizobium survival, because nitrogen does not perform well in the soil which is very acidic, because it cannot thrive because of that acid content. So it is very important and good to neutralize your soil if you know that the soil pH is below 5. Soil that is easily compact and form a crust must be avoided for growing soybeans, because the protruding soybean seed hypocotyl breaks easily under resistance. So with the soil which is gray, please stay away from such kind of soil type when you are doing soybean, because your soybean won't thrive in that kind of soil. So it's important again to know these programs or these procedures. Soybean can tolerate brief water lodging. Brief, meaning your soil shouldn't be more than 7. It shouldn't have the pH which is beyond 7. Potential hydrogen shouldn't go beyond 7, because even 7 is relatively alkalinity. So you should understand these things. Thank you very much for watching this video. Kindly share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you very much for your support.